Now that we have established these deities as our psychological constructs or cosmological constructs, where Vishnu is equated with the consciousness, Shiva with the subconscious mind, and the Devi with the quantum field, where do we go from here? Do we stop worshipping them in the classical sense? Do we stop going to temples, speaking their mantras? Well, it's a bit more complicated than that, and I will tell you why. One of the key reasons is, yes, we can see them in as our psychological constructs in their iconography, but in essence these entities transcend those limitations. So we can say that yes, Vishnu is like our conscious mind and Shiva is like our subconscious mind, because the way they have been picturized, the way they have been portrayed for us. A conscious mind can be equated to Vishnu, but Vishnu cannot be equated to the conscious mind, because Vishnu transcends what we think and feel as our consciousness, because our consciousness is at the end of the day limited to our perception, and Vishnu is that entity who is in charge of the global consciousness or the universal consciousness. Same thing with Shiva. He does reflect our subconscious mind, the way he's portrayed, because he's always in this meditative state. He's sitting back, he's innocent enough to believe anything, he's bhola and all those things. If you haven't seen the earlier videos, I think you should, to get the context of what we are talking about over here. So let's unpack this a little more. They are not just archetypes, they are not just these constructs that we are seeing them as. Vishnu can be equated to the conscious mind, yes, but the conscious mind cannot be equated with Vishnu in his transcendental sense, because Vishnu exists far beyond the boundaries of what we can think and feel. He's not confined to our awareness. He is the very force that holds this together. This is not a coincidence. This is by design. And I'll tell you why this is by design. This is by design because the writers, the authors who constructed these myths put these things into the stories as layers of understanding. As we have established before, there were 3 layers of understanding, which is the Adi Bhautik, Adi Daivik and Adhyatmik. But besides those things, they also understood that it is impossible to describe these entities in words. They do transcend even all the physical senses that we occupy. That's why it's called a darshan. A darshan is basically you're absorbing that form of divinity. You know, you feel it. It's like you feel it in your bones. It's indescribable, basically. When these guys were weaving these structures together, they picturized and they corroborated what they saw as the possibilities of the conscious mind and the possibilities of the subconscious mind, and what one achieves and what the other sort of absorbs, and then how these energies interact with the quantum field, which is the Devi. The quantum field is, you can say, it's like the womb of the universe, womb of universes. You know, it's a field of infinite possibilities. It's constantly birthing realities. So that's why the feminine aspect which is given to the Devi. These entities do exist far beyond our understanding. Vishnu is, in essence, the beholder, the observer. He is in charge of the conscious field. So he is in charge of all consciousness. And same thing with Shiva. He is not just our subconscious mind, but the deity that is in charge of the subconscious field in its entirety. One very good example of this is his name as Pashupatinath. Shiva is considered to be the lord of all animals. Humans have a fairly developed frontal lobe, which is responsible of reasoning, which is responsible for understanding things in a calculative way. What makes us human, what makes us conscious is our frontal lobe. It is often said that animals don't have consciousness, but that's not entirely true. They do have some degree of consciousness, but they are mainly operating from the subconscious mind. They're mainly operating from the instinctive mind, and that's why Shiva is their lord. He is the lord of the subconscious, and that's why he is Pashupatinath. Now, Devi can be equated to the quantum field, but she is transcending even that. She is the very energy that gives that intellect to the quantum field to birth new realities. So yes, these deities do exist and we should honor them. So if we need to connect truly with our consciousness and guide it in the right direction, it is important for us to honor the deity who is in charge of the entire conscious field, which is Vishnu. And you can honor Vishnu by going to the temples or offering a mantra. It's very simple. He basically wants to awaken reverence in you in whatever way you feel right. There is no prescription to it that it has to be done like this, otherwise you're doomed. That's not the case neither with Vishnu nor with Shiva. It is the case with some tantric rituals, but we'll get to those later. Let's keep things simple for now. You can invoke Vishnu with a basic mantra such as Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya or Om Krishnaya Namaha. As simple as that. Nothing. Om Namo Narayanaya. These are like basic mantras that you can chant how many ever times you feel comfortable with them. There are prescriptions to awakening these mantras to a certain degree, but that is a much later stage. Let's not get into that for now. Similarly, if you want to get in touch with your subconscious mind, you could invoke Shiva, and if you want to sort of honor the quantum field, you should do it with honoring the Devi in those forms. The point is, after equating these parallels, after taking Vishnu, Shiva, Devi into these psychological constructs and these cosmological constructs, it is important to pray to them with that kind of reverence, with that kind of an open mind, because it's not just a give and take. It is you're honoring the universe and the universe honors you back. Now comes the next question. What about mantras? Do they work? Mantras, shlokas, they're not just poetic verses. They're not just sound bites. Think of them as lattice work. Think of them as astral ladders laid out by those who have traveled these paths for eons and eons before you. And they have charged these pathways. Some mantras are charged by centuries, even millennia of repetition, and they carry that charge within them. And that charge is so powerful that just by chanting that mantra once can lead to a transformative experience. You will not see it immediately. It's not like a Marvel 3D team is just going to enter your consciousness and show you all those things. It doesn't work like that. It's a slow process. It takes its own time. For a mantra to work, you have to align yourself with the mantra. And there are simple mantras and there are complicated mantras. There are open mantras and there are guarded mantras, and that also happens for a reason, because think of them like this. Though the open mantras are like a well-beaten forest trail. It is known, it is safe to travel on that path. And those mantras which are like heavily guarded, which follow a certain tantric traditions, those are the path less traveled on. It's like an open circuit. You wouldn't go charging your phone into a transformer straight away. It's not evolution. It's just going to fry your phone. Similarly, with those mantras, that the tantric mantras which are there, they're highly potent, but they are not for everyone, because the deities and those people who have constructed these paths, they are very vigilant about it. They know that it's not for everyone to travel that path, and it is not elitism. It's not guarding because they don't want others to come, but because it is dangerous. If you are just curious and you want to get into a practice of certain mantras which are so heavily charged, it will destroy you. As simple as that. So don't go there. Keep it simple. If you're on a starting path, I would say start with a Ganapati mantra or a Krishna mantra or Om Namah Shivaya or a Devi mantra, but do not go on the tantric line. A basic Om Ganapataye Namaha or Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha is a good place to start your journey. You can chant your Ishta Devata. If you do not know what an Ishta Devata is basically your chosen deity. It could be anybody, any deity of your choosing. And you take that mantra and you chant it regularly. Basically, it's like building a rapport with the deity. So yeah, that's about it. Keep tuned in and see you soon. Bye.